Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to put this training together. I actually did this, I've done it a couple of times. I've just refreshed it a little bit to make it specific for going to district manager and beyond, because I know there's a lot of people who've joined the business recently, obviously at consultant level, that are looking to get to district manager. And I just wanted to talk you through how you're going to get there, but more importantly, how it's going to be a stepping stone to where you want to be in the future. So I'll just put some slides together so you can see it. What we're going to do is there'll be a few people on the call who will, or watching the recording, who will have definitely know all of this stuff. So I'm not teaching you to suck eggs. I'm just very much aware of new people coming on board and making them aware of the numbers and actually what you need to do to get there. And more importantly, to get further and past district manager. So as I said before, I really want you to view district manager as a stepping stone to where you actually want to be going. So don't get me wrong, district manager is an amazing place to be. You obviously get, better commissions, you get override, and you get paid on depth in your business, which is all amazing. But you should view it as a stepping stone, because money-wise, it's £200 or £300 a month, which is great. But getting to area is really where you're going to see a significant difference in what's going to be coming into your household. £1,000 a month as an average is going to be what's coming in. And that's so much more powerful than receiving just a couple of £100 a month. So view district manager's stepping stone. It can be done in a couple of months from joining the business. So if you're new in the business, you can definitely get going with the business straight away, get you to district manager. If you've been in the business for a while and just looking to relaunch, you can still do exactly the same thing. We're just going to give an overview for the people who don't know on the call. As an independent consultant, you obviously get paid 35% on all of your client sales, and you get 15% on all of your preferred client sales. And then at the moment, we've got this amazing bonus where you get 6% override. And what that basically means is anybody that you bring in on the business, that you sign up as a consultant, you earn 6% of their entire business too. So it's great. It sort of gives you an indication of what the business looks like as you go through the levels of management. Once you get to district manager, your QV, the maintenance that you need, that you and your entire team need, is 2,500 QV a month. And for that, you'll get your same commissions as for your preferred clients and your client sales, but you also get 8% commission on everything that you personally order and your customers order and all of the people that you brought on into the business. And then you get paid on depth. So all of the people that they're bringing into the business too, you get paid a percentage on their businesses. So it starts to become quite significant compared to when you're at an independent consultant. But as I say, my smallest paycheck as a district manager was £160. My biggest one was £840. So, it's a big variation once you're a district manager. But as I say, use it as a stepping stone and aim for area. Area is where you really start to see how this business can benefit you in your life. As an area manager, you get 14% override. But at this level, it becomes really significant because your business becomes a willable asset. As you can see, the business grows, and each time that you promote in your business, you're effectively quadrupling in size. So your QV maintenance at this level is 10,000 QV for you and your entire team. And I'll break that down a little bit for you in the presentation as where that comes from and how you're going to gain that. We're not going to talk about regional vice president and national vice president too much at this stage, but just so you know, obviously, the percentage that you earn increases. So it's 17% and 18% for regional vice president and national vice president. And for those on the call that don't know, this is the level, regional vice president, where you get, you can choose your own white Mercedes to get a £500 cash bonus, which you can put towards any car of your choice. But we're really concentrating now on that district, jumping from district and going to area manager. So you're ready now, you're ready to promote to a district manager. What do you need to do in terms of numbers? So you can do 6,000 QV in 1 month or 2 months, and then just 1,000 of that needs to be PQV. So that's your personal QV from sales from yourself, from your preferred clients, and from your clients. Option 2, you can do it over 3 months. You do need a bigger amount of QV. It's 7,500 QV, and you obviously still need that 1,000 PQV or 2,500 QV for your entire team in your start month, and you need to end with 2,500 QV in your end month. What I would say about this is it's a much harder slog. We tend to say whenever you're promoting in this business, do it over 2 months. The QV value is much, much lower, equivalent, and it's much easier to be in full throttle for 2 months compared to what it is for 3 months. You only promote 4 times in this business. You only go through that process 4 times. So just accept for that 2 months that you're committing to do your DM, that you are going to be putting all your hours in. You are going to not see your family as much. You are not going to be watching any telly. You're not going to necessarily having as much social time as you would have. But what you'll be creating in that is huge momentum in your business, which will carry you forward after that promotional stage. And you'll be then benefiting from seeing those huge numbers of QV coming into your account. So really, really think about that. Think about when it's going to be, when you want it to be. Talk to your family about it. Make sure they're on board and they can massively support you, because it is pretty tough going. But I really love my promotions. You can make it really, really fun. So commit to when you're going to do it, and then we can work out obviously a goal of how we're actually going to get there for you. For those of you on the call, 6,000 QV, and if you're brand new, might seem like an absolute milestone. But I promise you it's not when you start to break it down. 3,000 QV, so we're going to go over a 2-month period, for instance, 3,000 QV per month. Obviously, over 2 months is your 6,000 QV, but break that down further and look at those ASVPs, because they average between 300 and 360. But just for simple maths, we'll just say they're 300. So that is just 10 sales in your month between you and your team. If you've got one other consultant in your business, then that is just 5 each, looking at 1 a week, having an ASVP, 1 a week for each of you, and you're going to be a district manager within 2 months. So once you look at it like that, you'll see it's a much, much more achievable target for you. As I say, you can get to district manager on your own. You do not need to have a team, of course, but if you do, it makes it easier. So really work on getting a consultant to do this with you. You will 100% be the person that's leading it. You're the one who's promoting, but it's great to have some help along the way. So you need to be really consistent with your activity, making sure that you've blocked out your Arbonne time, that you are committing to that time and you are showing up. So whatever it looks like, your day, how you're going to do it, schedule in that income producing activity and stick to it. It will feel definitely at the beginning like you're really working hard and nothing is happening. But I promise you that's when things are happening. As long as you're really consistent with it, that work is going to show up within your business within 4 to 6 weeks. So if you absolutely throw everything out and don't feel like anything's happening, don't worry, because that is when things are going to happen. You've just got to continue to be consistent with it. And that's where I made a mistake for the first 3 years of my business, is because I would work really hard for a couple of months and not see the results that I wanted to see and sort of go off the boil and not do anything. Whereas if I'd just been consistent after those 2 months, I would have smashed my qualifications. So you just need to make sure that you're going to be really good with that. As we all know, we've been banging on about the tracker. It really does help for you to stay on track. It doesn't have to be the one that we use. It could be whatever it is that you like as a tracker. But work to something to ensure that you're being consistent with your daily activity, and that will massively help you. Now, we've talked about the 2,500 QV building blocks ever such a lot. And I don't want to bang on about them too much, but again, for the new people on the call, I really want you to start thinking much, much bigger in your business. Because if you can start thinking about your business and then you committing, and you and your team committing to the 2,500 building block, that is your maintenance as a district manager. That's the bare bones of what you want to be doing. And all you've got to do as a district manager is create and teach and train other people to do exactly the same. So you're not working harder, you're working smarter, and you're working alongside people who are committing to do exactly the same thing. So you can visualize this a little bit better. An area that's just, if you're just bare bones hitting your maintenance and you're a district manager at 2,500 QV, and you've sponsored 3 consultants who are doing exactly the same thing, they've become district managers to you, and they're hitting their baseline, that is an area. So you and just 4 people hitting the basic requirements as a district manager is an area. For a region, you can see I'm just going to be multiplying everything by 4 because that's as the businesses grow. And you can see just 16 members in your team generating 2,500 QV is going to be a region. Now, but I don't want you to think that that's what you should be doing. For years and years, I capped myself as 2,500 being my actual target for the month. And that is not the way to think about this business. We need to be thinking about that dream life that we want to have and how we're going to get to it, and that dream house that we're going to have. So I've talked about this before, but I'm just going to touch again on it. You know, your dream house, if you break it all down, you've got layers to your house. Right down in the basement is your maintenance. I'll come to that in a second. The middle levels are the qualification and promotion. And where we want to be is that top level where we're hitting all of our compensation and we're hitting maximum level bonuses. We do not want to be in the basement. The basement is not a goal. That is a must. That is a must have. Your maintenance should not be, I'm telling you because I've done it and I know what it shouldn't be. A lot of district managers get to the district manager and just see that as their goal for the month. But what I really want you to think about is that you want to be hitting your maintenance by mid-month so that everything in the second part of the month is going to be going towards the qualifications, promotions and compensation. So that mid-level floor is looking really good. You know, that's where we're going to hit the qualifications and start getting into promotions. But this is where we want to be. Penthouse, you know, penthouse top floor, hitting all those bonuses. And for me, what I decided to do a year ago was to focus on my district manager bonus. That is, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to cover it a bit in a bit of detail, but that is 100% seen an improvement in my business by me just focusing on district manager bonus. So that is my central business. That's my central district. So everything that I'm personally sponsoring, all my customer base that sit within me. Okay. And what we need to do is start thinking about that 5,000 QV building block rather than a 2,500 QV building block. Remember, this is you and your entire team. So the way that I look at business building blocks now is that 2,500 QV comes from new and new. So all new customers, all your new work, you know, your new consultants that are coming on board. 2,500 comes from that. And then 2,500 comes from my existing consultants, consumer consultants, and people that my existing customer base. It's really, really important. Every single executive national vice president that is doing Arbonne really well focuses on their district manager bonus before they do anything else. You need to be thinking about spending 80% of your time in your central district and 20% of your time outside your central district. We want to have sponsoring people and new blood coming into your central district all the time. So my goal is to make sure I have one new sign up every single week that has at least a 150 QV order. Not crazy. It's not like it's a ridiculous ask. One a week at 150. And then within my central, I make sure that I've got 5,000 QV. So I hit that bonus. The bonus isn't a crazy amount of money. It's only an extra £125, which is great, don't get me wrong. But what's more exciting is the opportunity that you're creating within there and how many potential district managers that are going to go on to area managers that are going to go on to regions, etc., etc. That's where you want to see the majority of your team is in your central business. So what I like to do, and what most of the MVPs will say is, you know, you want to have a district manager in qualification. This is Debbie Neal. Every single month you want to have a district manager in qualification within your central, and then you want to have a district manager that's completing every month. So you're becoming a district manager making machine from your district. Okay. So as I say, 2,500 comes from new and you, so new consultant and all the work that we do for them. And then, so for me, I focus on it being 3,000 for them, so it's a good, strong qual. And then I can focus on the 2,000 QV from my existing new consultants. So it doesn't mean that I'm doing that much myself. It's easy to manage. 500 QVs a week is actually really easy to manage. And then I'm investing my time in that consultant that's coming on board. So what I really like you to think about is, if you were doing your district manager bonus as a district, when you get to district and you're hitting you and your team are hitting your 5,000 QV, then all you need is another business builder who's prepared to do the same. And you are an area, just 2 business builders and their teams is an area. A bonusing area is just you and 3 other people. That's 20,000 QV, and 10 new sign-ups is a bonusing area. That's £250 extra a month. Plus, obviously, you get 14% commission or override on top of your entire business. And at that level, it's looking at £2,000 on a monthly basis. So for those of you on the call, when we looked at the beginning of the slide and you were touched on region, I didn't talk about it too much, but you might have seen that the maintenance was 40,000 QV a month. It sounds quite scary, but it really isn't if you just start thinking about breaking it down like this. You and 7 other people within your organisation that are hitting their district manager bonus is a region. Those numbers are a region, just 7 people. When I started, I thought region, you'd have to have hundreds and hundreds of people in the business. You don't, you just need to have a few good ones. Now, I'm not saying it's really easy to find those really good ones, and that's where you put your work into. But once you do work with them, nurture them, and really help them along to see this much bigger vision that you have for you and your business. So within our nation, obviously, we concentrate on the Roger Bannister Award. For those of you who don't know, Roger Bannister was the first man to do the 4-minute mile. And they said it couldn't be done. And, people were ridiculing him for it, and he did it. And within days, 4 or 5 people also completed it and shaved a little bit of time off it. But he just showed that things were possible. So we call it the Roger Bannister Award. And we want you to think about hitting your maintenance at whatever level that you're at by the 16th of the month. Then the second 2 weeks is all about that promotions, bonuses, and compensation. You want to get the maximum out of this. Arbonne are offering you all this extra money, and you don't want to be leaving it on the table. So as we know, for an IC, it's for the Roger Bannister Award, it's 1,500 QV. DM's 2,500, area manager 10,000, regional vice president 40, and national vice president 160,000. And the other thing that I just wanted to share with you is I spoke to loads and loads of national vice presidents when I went to Arizona last year. And I asked them just, what was their number one thing that they needed to focus on, or we needed to focus on. And these 5 things came up consistently between them. But actually, when you start to sit down and talk to them, they will say all 5 are completely necessary for you to be a really good national vice president. So the time we've talked about at the beginning, the time you need to schedule in income producing activity that's scheduled into pockets of your time, of your diary, that you are really consistent with. Consistency is obviously at the bottom. Your mindset has to be completely right for this business. If there is a chink in your mindset, it will stop you from doing and reaching the next level. This was 100% my issue with going with Area the first couple of times. I just didn't believe that I obviously could do it or that I should be there. So I had to work on my mindset and belief. If you have even a chink in your mindset, it will stop you doing what you need to do. So obviously we massively focus on personal development. You need to be reading every single day. You need to be doing your affirmations. You need to be really working on yourself. And if you aren't where you want to be in your business, then your mindset is the thing that you need to be working on the most. Activity, activity, activity. Be in activity all the time. And I used to think about being in activity all the time. It was absolutely exhausting. I would process like what I would think about in terms of conversations I was going to have with people and what the potential outcomes would be. But that is not going to help us at all. Don't think about it, just do it. I love that Mel Robbins thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. Don't overthink this, just get into activity and start sharing this really amazing opportunity with people. Always approach it that this person is going to massively benefit from Arbonne in some way, rather than worrying about the outcome that potentially is going to happen. And then the last thing, obviously, is duplication. Duplication. For this business to really work, we need to be duplicating it over and over and over again. So for me, I concentrate on bringing on one new business builder a month, whatever it looks like for you, and is in what you aim to do at the beginning of the month. Focus on that and get them doing what you're doing. That is when you really see how beautiful this business opportunity can be for you and everybody that you're bringing on board. So if you're really brand new and all of that sounds a little bit scary, they have an amazing little incentive to get you going as a consultant. And it really is just to encourage growth within your business so you can understand how the business works. You need to just think about achieving in your central business, your personal QV, that you've got sales of 500 QV that you are generating. And it's just getting you used to building a customer base. And then if you do that, when you do bring on consultants as well at the same time, you are then going to benefit from that 6% override. So anybody you bring on board, you're going to start seeing how you get paid on those direct people that are coming on board with you. 2,500 QV, if you can get that in your overall business, you are hitting what you need to do as maintenance for a district manager. And Arbonne will start rewarding you for that. Because if you do that, if you do that for 3 months, you're obviously going to be a district manager straight away. And they just give you an extra £60 cash bonus to say well done on that journey. So this is the beginning of anything that you want. And I really want you to start thinking about what you do want from this business, what it's going to do, what it can actually do for you. I know we talked about it a little bit on the training the other day. When you tell people what it is that you do, they should be feeling the passion and enthusiasm from the words that you're saying. So I want you to really, really work on that if you don't feel that what you're saying is resonating with people. 100% work when you're talking to somebody, work out what it is that Arbonne is going to do for them and talk to them about that. Michelle said something really wonderful the other day about, the most annoying thing is people trying to find a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. Find their problem, find what it is that their need is, and offer Arbonne as a solution. That's all that I wanted to cover. Let me just make sure. We've got 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to unmute. I don't know if anybody is... Oh, here we go. I've got a few on here. Unmute all. So we can have a quick chat. And then I'm just going to stop the recording there.